So it might just be because I'm in the industry, but I feel like every second person's a dog trainer these days. Obviously not, but really what I want to really talk about, because obviously I watch online like a lot of people, or I watch other trainers and see what they're saying and things like that. I know I feel there's a lot of bad advice going around from trainers that feel it's as simple as watching a few YouTube videos, putting a lead on a dog and yanking it to correct it. Now, some of you out there might think I'm one of those, what do they call, yanking crank trainers. If you think that's me, you clearly don't know me, and you might have seen a very small snippet of me correcting a dog, because I will correct a dog, like any, I believe, realistic trainer will, in a necessary way, nothing excessive over the top, but to help a dog through it. But what I would need people to know that want to be dog trainers or are doing dog training, got into it, there is more nuance to it. There is so much more. Can you do a 90-minute session with someone and explain why you do, what your dog's temperament is, why it's aggressive, why it's fearful, how to help it, how to get it more confident? All of these things, a lot of people can't. You're missing so much. I watch videos and the owners are really not getting much from it, except seeing a trainer yank a lead and go, do this to stop the dog doing this, and not understanding how to do it with technique that's firstly not excessive, when it's necessary, how to avoid it. I may talk about food not having certain power here and there, but I'm not against food. If you can reward a dog for not doing an action by using food, I'm all for it. I think it's a great tool. But I'm just realistic to know that it's limited to when it works. That's what I mean by food not working. Because in some situations it will. And if you can use it, I'm all for it. I would rather never pull a lead, never correct a dog, never raise my voice, never say no. I would love to live like that. But reality is, it just doesn't work sometimes with certain dogs because of their temperament. And a lot of people will look at a trainer, correct a dog and go, why don't you reward it? Why don't you give food, make distance, create a threshold? But you don't know the background of that dog. And a lot of those trainers have tried that, have tried food, have tried distance, have tried everything. And it's very hard to get through to some dogs. That is the truth. It really is. If you don't think it is, you clearly haven't trained many dogs. You haven't trained many aggressive dogs, and you basically don't know what you're talking about if you believe food will fix everything. That's it. End of story. Food doesn't fix everything. So we need other tools. That being said, we don't need to be excessive. We don't need to try and hurt dogs. And I think going out and saying you're a dog trainer when you're just putting a lead on, yanking a lead, doesn't make you a dog trainer. There's more to it. I did a session today that I wish I videoed and could show you the whole 90-minute session. I'm very proud of it. There was a lot of explaining, a lot going on. It was two dogs, one that's attacking another in their household. And this session was more about psychology with the dog and why a dog does what it does, how to avoid the triggers. And there was definite triggers why this dog was attacking the other dog, and I've explained to the owner how to avoid that. So this session was all about management. And I don't believe a lot of the new trainers or a lot of trainers could even explain that management. It's not all physical to fix a dog. It's not all about correcting dogs. It's about how to put a dog in a situation to avoid things. That should be your first step, to avoid a problem. And I'm not saying run the other way. I don't agree with that either. Making distance is fine, but not running the other way. We shouldn't be trying to run the other way to avoid a problem. We do need to teach a dog that that it is accountable for what it does. We've got to be aware of that, we can't allow a dog to just make a choice that it wants and act aggressive and be out of its mind. That being said, we're going to work with it. We can't put it in too much of a stimulated environment. So there's a bit of back and forth, a bit of to and fro, working with the dog to understand and really see why it does what it does. So that's my advice, and that's my video. What I want to talk about in this one is really to trainers in general and new trainers. I feel I've been doing this for a lot longer than a lot of other people, and I've dealt with a lot of very, very aggressive dogs for different reasons. Having, military background. Sure, it was a long time ago as a police dog handler, because I'm pretty old now. But I gained a lot of experience in a very short time doing that, and I've done it for a long time. I've literally trained thousands of dogs, and I get hands-on dogs every single day. I have a couple of days off during the week, but I'm training dogs every day training dogs. Last year I counted, I think it was over 600-700 dogs we trained between groups and privates and things like that. It's a lot of dogs. So please, if you're a new trainer, understand that it's not that quick fix. We're not looking for that. Yes, you can get quick fixes. You can really help a dog in a very short time, don't get me wrong. But your duty is to explain to owners why you do what you do, how to avoid doing what you need, what you don't want to do. In other words, pulling a lead. We don't want to go to that as the first step. Yes, the reality is sometimes we need to correct a dog. That is the truth. I do agree with it. So I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing being physical, but you've got to know why you're being physical and understand, is the dog, is it fearfully aggressive? Is it just an outright, people don't like this word, but I believe it's a true word in dogs, dominant dog, a strong-willed dog that will impose its power on other dogs. So we can put it that way if you want. Either way, whatever word you want to use, there are dogs that are very, very strong-willed and will push their weight around. This dog today, I had to manage very carefully. I had to treat it firmly with respect. In other words, if I would be too aggressive to that dog, it was growling at me. It was a big, strong dog. It has hurt its mate badly, and it could have been me. So I had to manage that dog. We had to muzzle train it. We had to avoid conflict. We had to avoid triggers, avoid resource. There was a lot to it, okay? A lot to doing it. So please take your time before you go putting leads on dogs and yanking them, because you might regret it as well. They might turn back on you. Dog will redirect. There's a lot to learn. And it's learned through hands-on dogs. But just take your time. Don't go to here first. Learn to work towards this. In other words, don't go to just being overly physical with the dog. We try to avoid that. This is our last step, being up here, correcting dogs with leads or voice or whatever. First step is the nicest approach we can take. And obviously we work to levels until we find a breakthrough. And the breakthrough could just be spatial pressure. It could be firm voice. It could be a correction verbally. It could be a slight correction on a lead. But we don't go to here first. We work through little levels, successive approximation, whatever you want to call it. We break it down into small steps until we get to our end result, which is managing the dog and helping the owner and helping the dog. So I just wanted to say this is a quick video. Maybe some people got something out of it. But to understand, again, remind you, you may see snippets of me or other trainers you like as a trainer, or see a little bit and go, I don't like them because I saw them correct the dog. There's more to it. You might see a small breakdown video, but understand I spoke for 60 minutes before that, explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not a yank and crank trainer. I don't just grab on a lead and pull on it. It is more to it than doing that. It is not that simple. There's a lot more care taken and explanation and breaking it down, learning about the dog, why it does what it does, to help it not do that anymore and help the owner manage that dog. And there you have it. I hope maybe we got something out of that. See you later. Bye.